Wagwan, Mr. Maps.
Yo, new number, who this?
What it is, big man.
Man, listen, Dobby is a free elf, free from the shackles of that other green company. We are operating. We are live.
I actually think in your mind, Spotify and Nazo, same WhatsApp group.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, bro. 100%. But I mean, again, you get what you get when something is free, right? Which is why we always tell our listeners that you can't tell us shit if it's free. If the content is free, there's no complaints that you can. I mean, obviously, you're free to register complaints, but will they be acted upon? Maybe, probably not, because the shit is free. So, in as much as that other green company, pissed me off and continues to piss me off, I get it because we were on their platform for Mahal. And, it is what it is. It is what it is. So no hard feelings, but, we up and we out of here. So we good. We good on this side. We good on this side.
Yeah, but yes, we give thanks.
Yeah. So, what am I thinking of over here? Oh, welcome back, guys. It is another episode of 6 Foot Weights. Your favorite hour with your favorite cheese boys. My name is Tabo.
My name is Senna.
And yeah, we're here for a good time, inshallah, not a long time, because niggas got shit to do, unfortunately. But it's been a week packed with a lot of news, a lot of things that we want to touch on. I do want to touch on some football, some sports, and then obviously developments from the Trump campaign. The one positive, I don't know, you guys, I call it a positive. You can call it anything else. From the Trump presidency, I knew it would be content galore. galore, like in every different direction. Content. Yeah. Daily shows on fire. All the late shows are on fire. The news is on fire. The pods are on fire. Like, it's just one man doing this much in he's been in office 4 months, if that.
Yeah.
That is powerful. Hitting the KPIs with the best of them.
No, the Trump thing kills me, bro. I think it because it's like there's something new with a new country like even Lesotho caught smoke one day when we're just sitting on a Monday morning, like how Lesotho.
It was on a madness. Yeah, but we can we'll park the Trump talk for a minute, you know what I mean, because we did it last week, so we don't want to make this a weekly, US politics type of conversation. We do have so much more to bring to the table, and I guess we can start with a little bit of follow up from last week. Man like Usher baby. He, has continued his domestic terrorism in such a way that it is now being reported that one of the ladies who have succumbed to his type of seduction is actually going through a divorce, reportedly.
Because of that?
Yeah. Apparently, this is what the report is saying here. Husband claims that... Oh, no, sorry. It has been reported a 45-year-old man has filed for divorce from his wife after she allowed Grammy-winning singer Usher Raymond to seduce her on stage. The husband claims the woman has never, and I repeat, never, ever kissed him in public, and he was shocked that she could come so close to a complete stranger in the presence of 20,000 people. It was reported the man has filed for a divorce because of the viral moment at the Usher concert, and it was the breaking point. It's turned into the breaking point of his marriage. According to court documents filed in Fulton County, I don't know where Fulton County is, I'd probably assume Atlanta, but we can look it up later. Marcus Delaney is seeking to end his 5-year marriage to his wife, Tasha Delaney, citing irreconcilable differences stemming from the incident at Usher's Las Vegas residency on the March 23rd show. Yeah, so it is probably is at Atlanta, because it says Marcus told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution it was humiliating. That wasn't just a concert moment, it crossed the line. Tasha, meanwhile, has called the incident innocent fun. Hey, women are dangerous. And says she was blindsided by the divorce filings. Usher representatives declined to comment. So this is the first time an Usher concert has stirred headlines. In 2023, actress Keke Palmer appeared at one of his shows and sparked widespread online debate about relationship boundaries in the age
I remember.
of viral fame.
That was 2 years ago. Me, you, Dan, and Phil had a whole thing about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's basically what it is. So let me see if there's any other relevant information. So I watched the video. So the reason why we started a bit late is that I was watching that video to see how dab is it. So he comes up to her, right? And like Ghana Young.
Is it that one we saw last week?
No, but it's very similar. It's basically copy paste.
It's another one.
It's another, bro. I don't say it lightly when I tell you this man is a domestic terrorist. I'm not joking around.
I gotta find this. Hold
Oh,
on.
I can share. I can show you. We can talk about it. We can watch it as we talk about it.
I remember the one who almost meant she was in a trance.
Yeah, same thing. Oh, same story.
That was
same exact story. You can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
So that's basically so now this is just kind of like, hey, who are you, Dumengani type of shit. So she says to Usher that, oh, I'm retired, right? And he goes, oh, okay, congratulations on your retirement. And then he starts singing, there goes my baby. That's the song, right? Gives her the mic to sing a little bit. But anyway, yeah, again, you know the script. So basically, technically, as you can see, if you are still paying attention, now she's going low, right? She is ready. The madam is ready to receive the cherry.
Isn't this the one from last week?
No, that's the thing. I also thought so as well, but nah, it's different.
What?
Yeah, it's a madness, bro. It's actually a madness. And like, look at the ladies behind there who are just shocked and just like on some. This is and then look at how she gets up, like, and you hug him, and you like look. I think, Mr. Moore, there's two what you call this? There's two different ways that we can look at this, right? This situation. And then you see, look at bowl full of cherries. So like, how many women is that? Potentially, that's another maybe 10 women that are going to eat cherries on that particular night. That's insane. But anyway, look, like I said, there's two sides to this. Side number one is this lady is diabolical for doing what she did, right? I don't know why you want to test the bounds of your relationship. Also, because of the fact that it says this man claims that she's never kissed him in public. That's insane. That is, I think, I am behind this man. This how old is he? 45-year-old man. I'm behind Mr. Delaney for suing, for filing for divorce, because if you've never been kissed in a span of 5 years in public by your wife, honestly speaking, I would be shocked by that behavior that I'm seeing on Instagram. That is insane to me. That if it is true, we're just going off of the look, divorce cases, people lie and put narratives a certain way to benefit them, whatever, right? But if we're just going off of the article has accurate information, that is insane for you to see your partner doing that willingly, that happily, and then calling it. And then also, what would confirm the divorce for me is if I confronted my wife and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And she goes, no, baby, it was innocent fun. Oh, nah. So, first of all, you do this. Isdima someday. is in complete disarray, and then you come and you gaslight me on top of that. Nah. There's absolutely no way we are doing this. On the other side of the coin, Mr. Moyo, Indota must be strong. That's all I can say. Indota must be strong. You must also just kind of, take it with your chest. And then what Mr. Delaney should do is go to the next Janet Jackson concert or Jada Kingdom concert or Shansia, any one of these, and like he must also pay for VIP tickets and also have his own innocent fun. That's really all he can do. But you got to take it on the chin, bro. To kitiza the muzi for some cherries. I don't know about that. So you can look at it from both sides. And
where do you land?
Oh man, I think the gaslighting for me is what is the tough one. Just
why do you think it's gaslighting? Because I think it's genuinely it genuinely is.
Man, just say you were starstruck. Don't tell me, because if you say it's innocent fun, that means that you are in complete understanding of the moment and you do it again. That's what it means, right? And no. If that's how you think, I'm not trying to be with you personally. If you think that is innocent fun to damn near look like you're having an orgasm in front of people, that is insane. That is insane behavior. And for me, I'm not strong enough. I am not one of God's soldiers who can endure that type of embarrassment on a global scale. It's not me. Other dudes, sure, but it's not for me. That's all that I'm saying. But if you come in and you're like, chief, you know what? I got carried away. It's Usher, starstruck. I didn't even think what was doing was that mad. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you understand that you took things too far. If you get that, then I'm cool. I can find a way to get past this and react. But don't be gaslighting niggas, man. Like, nah. Terrible.
So I agree with you, to be honest. Maybe not as strongly, but I think I agree with you in principle. You're absolutely right. I do think things like this, unfortunately, is like maybe your person's favorite artist from before they even met you, right? So maybe in the context of her entire life, Usher's been there since before you, from his first albums to his last album. So I think for a lot of people, there's that, we grew up listening to your music, we loved your music at this time, at this place, or whatever, right? So there is that element where I'm like, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Also, Usher's a superstar. Kunobu, liking celebrity.
Yeah.
And fangirling, right? So you almost have to make room for that.
But to this extent?
No, not to this extent. What would be your comfort level? So if you go to your missus to the concert, so your thing, I remember the last time you were like, you must sing to me.
Yeah.
So is your thing, there's absolutely no singing to you at these concerts, right?
He can sing, right? Like, look, if I wasn't there, so if my wife and her bestie went to the concert in Abu Dhabi as planned, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is next week. If they still went,
and
that happens. if that actually happened,
I'm gonna check on you, my friend.
No, not even. Like, my expectation is let
every
Usher
hour,
sing
every
to
hour.
you. Have your moment. You can cheese. You can be hyped. You can, you know what I mean. You can look excited, but like, there's a difference between, oh my god, I am loving this. One of my favorite artists ever is singing to me, right? That's okay. That's okay. You can absolutely fuck it, enjoy the moment. But
so you're fine
not
with
not the cherries, dog. Not the cherries.
Okay.
Nah.
So I want to see where the line is drawn from. Kiki Palmer, remember that? With the.
I feel like I'd hit my wife with the same line, but you a mom though. I hit her with the same boss.
Oh yeah.
No, you can't. I think you have to. If he tries to feed her the cherries, right? I would expect her to collect the cherries hand to hand, and she can eat it. Fair enough. Like, look, you don't want to make Usher look bad, so you can
hand to hand.
Yeah, kubela, auntie, they can kubela each other. You pick
No,
the
he
cherries.
wants
and
no.
then-
The
no,
whole
no, no,
point
no,
of the cherry show is to
Nah,
feed
nah,
her.
No, 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 no.
Like,
she's
I
a
feel like-
she's a grown ass woman. She can feed herself.
No, but-
she has two
No, I
very
know,
capable
but you know
hands
what?
and 10 fingers.
But I think there comes a point with some of these things where I think there's nothing the person can do other than just go with it.
Yeah. So you're telling me because Usher Pillay at some point is going to come to South Africa, right? So if your missus, I don't know how much of a fan she is of Usher, if she'd be willing to go, but
No, she
let's
would.
assume she goes. Same story. Are you cool? Are you cool with it?
No, it's a conversation we're going to need to have. The two
No,
of us
it's
to
in the
be
moment,
like, how
Pilla.
are we
It's in
dealing
the
with
moment.
this?
How are you dealing with it?
I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I also don't know. That's why I'm asking you these questions.
No, because it's in the moment.
So the
man's
reason
got
I'm
two
asking-
cherries in his hands.
Yes,
looking eye to eye with your wife.
Yes.
with your wife.
But to every woman,
are you
but to-
letting it happen because you're like but maps, there was nothing.
100% right. But I'm also now putting myself in a conversation where I'm trying to understand if my wife was to tell me, no, actually, maybe even at a concert, if his whole thing is every girl he gives her the cherry, like it's a sacrament, a church through the mouth, like that, right? If that's how everyone has done it, you don't want to be the only one who's like, no thanks. Do you know what I mean?
No. You can't be. Because if the shoe
Okay.
was on the other foot, you remember that?
No,
think
I don't want to do the
No, but it's-
whataboutism about it.
No, bro. Like, remember, I think we even touched on it one time. The Janet Jackson clip that has gone viral for years and years and years. It is Janet Jackson,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is Janet Jackson, where she
Like,
has
come on, though.
that guy on his pambano.
Exactly. So again, Doc, you can't, as a married dude, you cannot justify being on that stage. You can't be like, oh no, she pulled me,
Yeah.
babe, and then I took at least 25 steps to get on stage, be pinned on on some Jesus shit, and then you know what I mean? Like it's like. No, you can respectfully be like, wave the ring finger, like, and people will get it. And even Usher would get it, or Janet Jackson would get it, right? And be like, oh, okay, cool, I got you. Like, it'll be weird
No,
if
but
Usher
you're-
goes, no,
you're-
but it's okay. But
No, it's
please
cool.
eat.
But what you're providing solutions that would work for your comfort level.
Yes.
And you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that even though you have a comfort level that and that's the recipe and formula for you solving this problem, there's the other issue where I think a lot of women would then say, no, but now that I'm there, I can't not go with the show because this is what happens at the show.
Nah.
And I'm not saying I'd be comfortable. I'd probably be seething.
It's impossible.
Because I'm too insecure for some of these things. I always say,
Yeah, that's
I
what
always say,
I'm
I'm
like, look.
these silly
If you're not
games
strong,
when
you're
I'm-
not strong. At
I'm
least
not
we're
strong enough,
self-aware.
right?
We're self-aware enough to be like, look, man, not me. Like, I'm not
And
the one.
besides just like the general sort of insecurity of that whole, it's my person, it's my partner, and they in that context with someone else, there's the clowning aspect that comes out of it. Unfortunately, if you're a man.
So you're on some Abadubazotini.
No, but do you think this guy who's divorcing, back to where we started, do you think the guy who's divorcing his wife is doing it just because of what she did? It's also witty, bruh, I now have to walk around in the community with people saying this for the rest of my life. Like that changes how people identify you, how people see you, how they relate to you. You have to. There's that.
No, I think at the end of the day,
God forbid your wife goes viral as a Zimbabwean and then Shataya sees the kid.
Oh. See, now we're cooking. Now we haven't touched on it, but like, yeah, what would
You know what I
Shataya
mean?
say? You can't give him that type of content, dog. Because Shataya is the type of own that will screenshot a picture of you as a man and be like, yo, this is exactly how not to be a man. This guy right here, da. Like, no, bro, you can't.
And to be honest, and these are things where, like, the two things we've identified, the insecurity and abantu bazotini, is things that people are always told to be like, they don't matter, don't care about what abantu bazotini. no, don't be insecure. But if you're being honest, it's the real things that people feel. What will Mr. Map say in the group chat?
I'm now clear, bro. I don't even lie to you.
Of course.
The jokes are gonna fly. That is insane. No, look, like I think we have a responsibility to our partners not to. It just you can't, dog. Just like look, you don't even
With
know
all of
Usher.
that in mind.
You can't even be on some no, but babe, I didn't want Usher to be embarrassed. Are you mad? Usher doesn't even know your name. He's on to the next lady, bro.
I think that's a very good point that you make.
Yeah.
Caring more about that Usher's embarrassed than that your husband could be embarrassed.
I mean, I'm sending the clip to your father, bro. I'm like, yo, I need a refund because this is 10 bodies right here. No, bro, that's 10. Nah. Run me my peas, big dog. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. We have other important news to get to. So, man. So much here, Mr. Mo. So much here that has just been happening in the pop, what you might call it, again, pop culture. There we go, pop culture. Have you seen the Give Me My Hand video?
I did. The guy who's like outside the res. Yes. Give me my hand, dog. Give me my hand, dog.
Knocking. You
dog.
can't, dog. You can't. I think I've sent it to myself here. And then I think again, look, if you're listening, obviously you're listening to the pod. Just go on TikTok and search "Give Me My Hand." I think that's the easiest thing that you can do because I am struggling a little bit to find. You just have to experience it. To be very, very honest with you, because it's another level. It's a whole another level of sadness, to see. But long story short, if I'm unable to find the clip, it's a young man on res, and he's knocking on some guy's door, repeatedly saying, "Give me my hand." That in itself is again, Isdima, somden. I think this is the theme of today's episode. Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't know. As a father, I do not send you to school to go and knock on someone's door saying, give me my hand. I think my dad would beat the shit out of me just because, one, you're not focused on school, and two,
Yeah.
Yes, yangisa.
Abantu bazothi. Abantu bazothini always comes back. You can't escape it.
No, bro. Like it's actually, to me, it's insane. It's insane. So let me actually. So this. You know what's funny, right? So we have it on both sides. We have it on the guy spectrum, and we have another video on the ladies spectrum of the same shit, the same level of
The same
of
incident.
Yeah,
Or the
no,
same
not
level
the same
of
incident.
different incidents. Okay.
Yeah, different incidents. Just a different gender that has been affected here. So now this is the lady or lady side of the. Oh, whoops! I need to reshare because there's no sound here. So this is an account called Just Coco on Twitter and on TikTok actually. She's doing what probably all of our wives have done, or girlfriends, or any women that we know, at a restaurant, mirror selfie or video, minding her own business, right? That's the context of what's going on. And unbeknownst to her, there is a confrontation loading.
Oh, leave my men alone. Leave my men alone. No, but I'm so sorry. What the fuck?
Leave my man alone. Leave my man alone. Versus, give me my hand. Give me my hand. On both sides. Guys. On both sides, guys. We cannot do this in 2025. That's bro. And this is a mama, bro. So this chick looks what? Probably 20 to 25 years old. 20 to 25 years old. That's what she looks like to me. That's what she looks like to me, right? And the mama behind is clocking over 40, over 40, if not 50. So this is the bad. We know this for sure that the man in question is some random bally in his 50s. And you've gone in, you've terrorized some child, and God forbid that this woman is wrong. Like she's seen the wrong. You know what I mean? Like sometimes baddies just be looking the same, and then you're just you know like imagine if it's purely a random moment, and some mama just came up to you. I wish she kept recording because I'm actually curious how the conversation ended.
She's like, hi,
bro. That's insane.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
The first comment on this video is someone goes, "It's give me my hand, dog" type vibes, and it's right.
That's worse. Crazy. I don't know what is worse,
bro. No, but I think this mama, her situation is worse because she climbed steps, bro. Like at least 2 flights of stairs there I'm seeing. So she burned calories to go in.
Leave my man alone.
Say leave my man alone. So same man that's probably just wilding, right? Where you just leave him, but you're going to tell some 2K. Bro, like that's wild. That is hectic. Apparently this was at Mocha Cafe. I talk with drama at Mocha Cafe all the time. But it's peak in the streets, dog.
Good rap.
Someone in the comments says, "I've just removed this girl's dress from my Shein cart. It's bad luck." Oh my god!
Hey, you wear that dress, people's wives will come after you.
Let me just click on.
I think what's so fascinating is her reaction, though. The girl's reaction.
But
it's like hypo.
You know what's killing me is that at the end she goes, "What the fuck?" So it's like, again, I cannot imagine myself as a 40 or 50-year-old talking to some lighty and the light is well within their rights to be like, "What the fuck, dog?"
Like imagine you're like just like some cheese girl from Saint whatever school,
bro.
Or GC, you're taking a mirror selfie. It's Paddy's night with your homies.
Bro. Yeah. So I've looked at her profile. So like a lot of I'm looking at Adam now. Most of her items are like 40K, 100K views. That video is on 4.5 million views. So I went on the next one, and I was hoping that maybe she's put like a story time, to update people on what happened. But there's no story time that I can see from this. And like the next video, people are literally all in the comments being like, "Yo, CT story time." As that. Like literally all the first 8 comments, like, "Please, what happened at Moja? It's now global. I'm from Kenya. We need to know."
What the hell,
bro? But for real, no, she needs to tell the story. I actually want to know what.
But what if she doesn't want to talk about it?
No, because then I kind of assume that you're guilty. Then I think then you're the right person. If you're not talking about
it,
it can't. To me, my assumption is Suban. Because if that had happened to me, best believe, and it looks like she's a TikTok person, right? She's got a bunch of videos on TikTok, so obviously she's a content creator. You're telling me a video that's your most popular video ever on your I don't know because I haven't scanned through the whole profile, but I'm probably not wrong in saying that's the most views that she's ever gotten on a video. That pops off, goes viral globally, and you're not going to tell people what happened. Nah. Especially if it's an honest mistake, like she's then 100% I gotta give people a story time, bro, because that's gonna hit. That's gonna do numbers again.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if also she's in the TikTok world, then she must tell the people what to go on.
It's okay. It doesn't tell you how many videos are here, but. Yeah, 455,000 likes, 15,000 followers. So, oh my gosh, on her profile, in her bio, she's got fashion designer, and then in quotes she says, "Not leaving him alone." This is why you can't deal with lighties, bro. You can't fix yourself to go and try and address a child, bro, because you'll never win that battle. They will make you look stupid. You cannot argue with someone half your age. You just look silly doing it. Like, but I mean, again, if we're comparing to the other guy at Rez, I just think in his case, look, if we give him some brotherly advice, it's similar to on the Trimbos, they had their version of Siazama. Some dude who said, "Look, I have my hand, and I'm not comfortable with how these guys relate to her." Either he said like how she's touchy feely or something like that with random dudes in front of him, right? So he was on some bruh, what do I do? And I think this is in the same line of advice, bro. Like if you're a young man, I know we've got some YNs who'll be listening to the pod. Chief, leave that thing, man. Bro, do you know how many hands on Andreas? Senna, you went to school in SA. You can speak on this much better than me, bro. Like, yeah, it's dime a dozen, dog. Like you're not going to die. Like it's just, come on, man. Come on. You can't
keep it moving.
You can't, bro. You can't.
And especially at that age, man, like...
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense for guys who are 40, 50, who've been married 10, 15 years to crash out like that, you know.
If you've
like
invested,
that
sure.
would make sense.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
How about at Rez? Oh, my guy, at Rez.
Bro.
You're also knocking on another guy's Rez. I think...
That's insane. That's insane.
No.
That's like being in the savannah, right? And... going to crash out on some hyena that stole your meal. Meanwhile, there's a whole herd of zebras just grazing right next to you, dog. What do you mean?
You're busy fighting.
Come on.
Yeah. What an analogy, though. As my person.
No, for
you
real.
just compare.
That's Red's life, bro. That's Red's life.
You just compared Rez to the savannah, lions and gazelles.
It's the wild, dog. It's the wild. It's each man for themselves. Every man got to go out and hunt, and you have to, you know, if you don't eat your kill quickly, it's liable to be snatched from right under your fingers. That's just life. That's life on Rez, bro. I saw it happen in real time.
Predators come and they, Sometimes a lion chases the cheetah from the meal, and then the cheetah must just go hunt for another one.
Dude, there was it's the problem with the guys. We need to have a lot more honest conversations, bro. We need to have these conversations because I remember on Rez that one time. I'm chatting to this stage, right? And for me, it's really on a look here for a good time, not a long time. Like very, very transparent, you know, type thing, right?
Yeah.
And this Owen, who we used to crib together, like literally Slada Sonke Sasi 3, right? Like a 3-bedroom out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my guy, do you smack? Because every night, me and the next, the third roommate, right? Us ones would like play FIFA and like, you know, just hang out, right? So he was fully on, and me and him were fully on like, bro, we'll game until 5 a.m. type shit. Yeah. Every time that the man in question was not with us, he's with the date. That's what would happen. Like every single time, if we're like, hey, bro, where's this guy? He's going and he's talking to this babe and whatever. So I go to him and I'm like, hey, chief, bro, like, we're kind of talking to same babe here. So are you interested? Are you not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's cutting? And he goes, no, I'm cool. I'm like, are you sure? Say, yeah, I'm easy. I'm like, okay, cool. So let me go holler at the enemy. He's like, okay, cool. But like, you see, even when he says, okay, cool, you could just tell that it's just one of those, like, he's just does not look happy about the situation. So me, I leave it. I'm like, no, bro. Like, look, it's not that deep, right? And then all of a sudden, demeanor has changed. Like, so you want to slam FIFA? Yeah, cool. Let's play FIFA. No problem. But if Mans just comes up and says, "Yeah, bro, me, I'm in love. Can you allow?" It's okay, cool, no problem. No wahala, bro. Like it's the savannah. There's plenty of teams for everyone to. You know what I mean? We don't need to cannibalize. We don't need to kill the vibes and the muri. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just there's food for everyone, bro. Everyone can eat. Sute, like if people go second, you know what I mean? Like it's chill, bro. It's chill. But people want to act like, it's now or never. But anyway,
But sometimes what happens for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Rails is their first. It's many firsts for a lot of people. Like for a lot of guys, it's your first. Maybe it's the first time you have sex. Maybe it's the first time you drink. Maybe it's the first time you date. It's for a lot of people, it's many firsts, and I think it might be your first girlfriend, first love, all of those things. The freedom
for him, it
you
wasn't
never
his
had
first.
at home.
It was, and you know what's funny is that like, they were together for all of like 5 minutes, and man moved on, and she moved on. So I was just like, all this drama for what? Like it doesn't make sense at all, bro. Doesn't make sense. But anyway,
No, I get it.
give me my hand, dog. Give me my hand.
Hey, but also I think that's a worse crash out than leave my man alone.
Yeah,
I think we'll leave my man alone. It happens, there's when women are.
No, I think it's because we've seen it a lot, right? It's not the first time we've seen someone somewhere being accused of, taking someone else's husband type shit. There you go. I've got the video here for the people. For anyone who lives under a rock who has not seen this video, let's see if we've got audio.
Give me my hand, dog. Give me my fucking hand. Give me my fucking hand, dog.
Guys, I see you guys judging this guy. Like, how can you be there knocking and screaming and all of that? Like, bro, I don't get it. He loves her, bro. He loves his hand, dog, and he wants his hand back, dog. So you guys are hating on him for like... I can't even act, bro. No, bro. What about your kids, boy? What about his D, my dog? Give me my hand are 3 words I never thought I'd hear. Give me my hand, boy. She was clearly never yours, and I'm not saying that. No, she was never yours, boy. She's ours. All these girls, they're not yours. No, boy. She specifically was never yours. Specifically, boy. Zini, what about your bloodline, boy?
No, for real.
Oh,
Isdima,
shit.
bro. You can't, bro. In this age of technology, imagine when man now has his own kids. That video is gonna be somewhere at some point. Bro, I could never. Seeing a video of my dad moving like this, I can't look at you the same, dog. Especially if I'm like in my like anywhere between like 15, 14 to like 19 years old. Like those years where you're the most, like, what can I say? Yeah, you're the most destructive as a teen, right? Because you think you're a man, right? You think you're a grown up at that point. Then you see a video of your dad talking about, give me my hat. Never. I'd look at you so differently, bro. You can't tell me shit at that point. You just can't.
What about your bloodline?
No, for real.
Maphosa?
No.
What
bro,
about Isdima?
your ancestors, bro? Like that's why. Look, people that didn't die for this. Nah, bro. No. Come on. Like respect to the goat, bro. Like you can't be doing this.
Give me my. Also, the concept that you own people is also very funny. It's a bit entitled.
No.
It's like that.
Don't do that.
It's like the hand. It's like the hand has no autonomy. Like she can just be given.
No. Sena, you're dragging it. Like we know what he's saying. Like. For
No,
all
I know what
intents
he's
and
saying.
purposes, we do own each other, right? But hey, the worst varsity experiences. Okay, and again, this is why there's a lot of shitty dudes out there, bro. Because their villain arc started this way. This is
Once
literally.
he got money and
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. The thing is, like now at this point now he's left this place, right? And he's probably gone back. He's just like, nah, fuck it all. He is studied. hit straight A's, and now he's probably an investment banker at such and such Morgan Stanley, wherever, and he's now driving an M2 and just doing the most right now. He's doing too much. He's doing too much because he's trying to recover from this hurt. But if said lady just treated him right, he would have been, married and in a happy place, not needing therapy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, some of these things are avoidable, guys. They really are avoidable, at the end of the day. But
100%.
hectic. Mcholo is tough. Mcholo is tough. This might be a Mcholo-centric episode. Because I got another story for you, Mr. Moore. Got another one.
Lego.
Have you ever heard of a basketballer called Anthony Edwards? Might have mentioned it once or twice on the podcast.
You played in the Olympics?
Yes, he did play in the Olympic team, the most recent Olympics.
Yeah. I think he's the guy who looks like that football YouTuber Cams.
Which one?
Anthony Edwards.
He looks like which football YouTuber?
This guy called Cams.
I don't know him. But they say he looks like Michael Jordan. Like, in terms of he looks like he's the son of Michael Jordan. People have put their frames side by side. Also, his game is kind of similar to Michael Jordan. But anyway, Anthony Edwards has been in the headlines for well over a year now for a particular situation. He was messing around with a slay mama, and I use that language intentionally because this hand. So Anthony Edwards is about 24 years old. This girl is 38 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Insane. So he was messing around with this lady. Her name is Aisha Howard, 38 years old, and he got her pregnant, right? Of which, rookie mistake, but whatever. It is what it is.
Rookie.
You hope that at his young age, yes, we know you're going to make mistakes, but it's not permanent mistakes, right? But anyway, it is what it is. He's knocked her up, and obviously he goes, hey, bruh, I'm not trying to be a father right now. Please terminate, right?
Yeah.
She says, nah, I was in this situation 2 years ago, and I did terminate, not with him, but with some other person.
Someone else.
So, and I've lived with that regret since then. So, no, I'm not going to terminate. So now, additional context. Aisha Howard is also the baby mama to a rapper. Either is it Lil Durk or Lil Baby? I'm pretty sure it's Lil Baby. But anyway, she's already a famous rapper's baby mom, right? Now she's got an opportunity to be a famous basketball star's baby mama. And this is a basketball star who's going to be easily, in the next couple of years, top 3 in the NBA, if not number 1 player in the NBA. With the contracts that they're giving out in the NBA, he could easily get, maybe in the next 5 years, maybe a $500 million contract, the way things are going, because we're already at supermaxes of $300 million, right? So by the time he's due, we could be at a $500 million contract. So obviously,
Hectic.
I mean, look,
The slay mamas
is not 6, right?
They're not sleeping.
No. Stop.
They are
even
awake.
if she didn't want to have the kid, it's like you're just looking at it from that perspective, which is why I was just like, rookie mistake. So she tells him, she gives him the whole narrative. And the thing is, it's tough because obviously the narrative of if she did terminate 2 years ago, 110%, she could legitimately feel that way, right? Because everybody is entitled to feel like, look, man, I did this and I regret it. So as a man, unfortunately, you have no right to say, once that has been said to you, there's no angle that you can approach the situation to be like, but I still don't want to be a dad, right? So anyway, it's all out there in the streets, and his position is very, very clear. Then over the last 2-3 weeks or so, news comes out that he's allegedly claiming to in the custody. No, he doesn't want custody. So he's like, yeah, you can have full custody to the kid. I'm not trying to be in the kid's life. But in the child support conversation, it was alleged, which apparently has been debunked, but it was alleged that he was trying to pay the child support all up front. So it's $5,000 per month, which came up to, it was going to be a payment of $1 million and some change, which to me felt very, very cheap given Anthony Edwards' earning potential to just, So obviously, again, no judge was ever going to approve you paying child support upfront because it assumes the expenses of the child are exactly the same from day 1 to 18, of which
Yeah.
no, the kid's gonna go to schools, certain types of schools, put on certain types of clothes, live a certain type of lifestyle, extracurriculars, like all these different things that come up with raising a child, right? So there's no way you can go, just pay 1.5 million and you don't have to talk to the baby mama or the kid ever again. It's never ever happening.
Yeah.
But that's how much Anthony Edwards, at least it was put out there, how much he ain't trying to be involved in the kid's life. For me, I don't know. I just think it's just a mess, because there's a conversation to be had about why are women almost 40 because to me it is targeted, right? Targeting these young, dumb athletes who are obviously, yes, you're over 20 years old, but like, again, whether you're a man or a woman, to me, up until you're 25, you are liable to make stupid decisions. And it's expected for you to do dumb shit up until you're 25. After you're 25, I expect your reasoning and thought process to be somewhat higher than it has been in the past, right? So to me, you are targeting these kids, right? And it's like, me and you always talk shit about any man who's in their 40s and is busy playing around with girls who are in their 20s.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And to me, in both directions, like, that's weird, because
if a 38-year-old, whatever, who name a Slay King, someone women find conventionally attractive,
Trey Songz.
Trey Songz, at 38, 40, or whatever how old Trey Songz is, decided that he's going to date, I don't know, the next rising basketball star who's 20, and then basically she gets pregnant, and then now she's tied to him for life. You'd be like, how?
No, we see it as a lick. Like, obviously, it's different because obviously
Trey Songz has
his
a
own money.
money.
But
if it's like some
Trey
random
Songz looking dude who doesn't have money does that, and next thing, this up and coming WNBA star or up and coming female rapper is all of a sudden pregnant, then everyone is going to look at you like, chief, here, this is an investment in yourself, which obviously doesn't work that way for men, because like the involvement in the kid's life is different, right? Like, it's not from as in if it's the other way around.
Yeah, but
the woman,
but even in general,
is the primary
like
caregiver a lot of the time.
But even if you look at some of these, the famous, the guys who date really successful women, like I think it's Simone Biles' his husband or boyfriend, whatever it is, and even that guy Kiki Palmer was dating. You're always on thin ice with their fan bases. Like, it'll be you say one thing, you criticize one thing about your partner, you'll have swarms of people telling you, hey, you're setting her back, she deserves better than you. Like, it'll be a lot. Like, oh, you're riding off the coattails of her success. I saw it with A$AP Rocky and Rihanna recently when he was going through his legal troubles. I was like, oh, Rihanna can do better. All these things.
Really?
Yeah. No, it was
hectic.
It was bad because he was only acquitted. Was it a few months ago?
Yeah, within the last month or so.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that happens, right? And then you get to a point where with, I don't know, you get to older guys dating, younger women who would be famous in sports or even in music. People would think predator without going any further.
So let me play. Let me see if this will play. Okay, cool. So this will play. This is, so obviously people, like you said, inevitably were coming for her, saying, hey, bruh, what the heck, you're a gold digger, blah, blah, blah. You know that whole narrative, right? So she then responded to those comments.
I have been purposely staying off the internet. Reason being is because I don't want to come out of character from the things that are being written and commented, the lies that are being made up. And I know that if I put myself in position to respond, I'm then putting myself in position to defend my daughter and defending her of what has been written. There's no nice way to do it because people have been so ignorant and so cold-hearted towards a child. And funny enough, I don't know if it's been a year or two, but I remember when Trump wanted to push laws banning the rights to abortion.
Oh shit, that's not the right clip. But anyway, this is
So that's the one where she speaks about her. I assume that's the one where she speaks about the termination of her pregnancy.
I think
maybe
so.
why
But I think
she decided to keep
she went on
the
to
child.
maybe she's deleted the clip. But basically what she had said, or the part of it that's really got people, on some shit, where she says, there's no telling you guys that I'm not a gold digger. The only thing that irritates me is I read comments saying, oh, you're a gold digger, or you kept the baby for a check. What if I came to y'all's pages and I compared the men that you have children with the men that I have children with? And yes, it's plural. It's not me saying it. She's actually saying it in plural. And I said, you were digging for poverty when you picked him to be your baby daddy, weren't you? Or you kept that baby for an extra income tax credit, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for extra couple $100 in food stamps, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for a Section 8 voucher. So again, it's I think you can't be, if you're sitting in a position of privilege, like these comments never go down the way that you think they go down in your head. Like it's just, and unfortunately the way of the world is, if you're wealthy or in a really, really great position financially and life-wise, you can't tell people who are not in that position to kick rocks. It just never lands. It just never, ever will land. And you just look bad. You just look bad. I haven't seen someone try to do it. They give Casper Nyovest a bunch of shit for clapping back at fans. Hey, he's a thin-skinned celebrity. All this other stuff, right? I don't know why we think as normal people we should be able to say anything to anyone at any time, that we have the rights to tell people that they're bad parents or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where as a society we've gotten all of these quote-unquote rights to say what we want online because we're behind a virtual fence, right? Because nobody actually in real life ever says that. Ever. Like, Senna could come out and be like, my kids, like, I don't even see my kids. You know what I mean? Like, he said, I don't even like being a father. But like, let's say Senna just says that at a prior function. Almost never would you hear someone go, oh, Senna, you're a bad father. The conversation would be had privately, like, hey, baby, did you hear Senna saying Guti? You know what I mean? But like in real life, we don't say these things to each other. We don't, but online, we've just kind of all said, yeah, sure, we can say whatever we want online. And that's where I somewhat do feel bad for famous individuals or popular individuals or whatever, when they do have some of the comments I see on Instagram and stuff like that, bro. I'm like, Bram, people are really angry. People are really hurt out there. You know what I mean? And they're taking it out. They're projecting on these. There was sidetracking here, but there was this random video that I saw on Instagram. It's a lady recording her child, right? So like toddlers have this phase where they just want to, like, so my son will unpack and pack. Like, he does that, right? So he'll go to his like bookshelf, literally take all the books out, throw them on the floor, right? And then he'll pack them again. Like, it's just a part of the child development. Like, it's normal for them to do stuff like that, right? So apparently it's something when they're learning to realize cause and effect, right? So again, I saw that video. I think my wife sent it to me. I chuckle and I'm like, yeah, literally, Gamo does this exactly the same way. Whatever. Bare people in the comments are on this. So it's in the video, the kid is just chucking the books out, right? Just literally going pluck on the floor, right? So it's not the full video of what the kid would have gone back to do, which is probably pack them back on the shelf, right? Even if he didn't, it's a kid, man. Doesn't matter. People in the comments are on some, hey, like, look, kids will be kids, but it doesn't mean that it's an excuse for you to be a bad parent. You need to correct this behavior, wadi. And it's like, it's so different from the comments I've seen for people who actually are parents going, oh yeah, look, my kid did that too, ha. people who aren't parents on some, hey, but I'm like, guys, like, who gave you the right, the balls to comment on shit you have no context on? Take 30 seconds of some shit and be like, yeah, no, this is the, you know what I mean? You should never
Status
ever do
quo.
this. Like,
There's a
I don't know.
picture. I'm not sure. I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter. The picture of these couples that took a picture all standing next to each other, and then someone brought it to Twitter, and then with the caption, "Oh, what do you know about couples who hang out like this?" And dude, the most vile things were being said about them. Hey, you can see ukuthi bafunana. Hey, these couples, they do this. Hey, they do that. And then one of the husbands came and said, "Well, you guys, it's a very innocent picture with our friends, and you guys are being very, very weird on the internet about it."
Yeah.
And you're always going to get. Eventually, he clapped back. It was just like, "Hi, no man," in a similar sort of way, like. What are you? You guys are being weird. Like, stop it. Like, chanan lako.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you mean. Ukuthi it's
quick,
okay.
Before you jump into that, I just want to read you some tweets that will add on to kind of bolster the point that you want to make. So people, obviously, it was debunked about the whole paying child support up front, right? But these are the kind of tweets that people are putting out there. Anthony Edwards telling a judge that he wants to pay a whole 216 months of child support up front is nasty. He hate that woman and that child. Anthony Edwards asking to pay a full 18 years of child support is nice. Nigga don't even do that for mortgages or cars. So, what's the other? Yeah, so the same thing. So Anthony Edwards made a historic move by paying 1.8 million dollars in child support at once for covering 18 years worth of payments. That's 5,000 up front, but he decided to settle it. That's 5,000 a month, but he decided to settle it all up front. This is a clear message. Don't ask me for anything for the next 18 years. Yeah. So again, and it's so funny how rumors just kind of like, you know, can
How they just spread like
Bro.
wildfire.
Bro, I was like, yeah, this is because I saw this. I'm like, there's no way that this is allowed by a judge, because like it just doesn't make sense. The cost doesn't stay the same unless you overcompensate and say, look, at the highest tier of parental care, it's gonna cost this much, and then you go, yeah, I'm willing to pay the highest tier for every single month, which is a crazy financial decision at the end of the day. So yeah, it was just weird. But yeah, it's hectic, guys. But anyway, these niggas need to stop.
So are they gonna force him? Are they gonna force him to be in the child's life just to rap?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can force someone to be in a child's life. But I think they obviously, because he'll need to make the payments on a monthly basis, he will be somewhat aware of, you know. And I do hope, because like I said, to how I know Anthony Edwards is a young man at this point, he's still immature, that is his mindset at the moment, that he's not trying to be a part of the kid's life, right?
I do think the leagues, and maybe there is, like I said, I think we framed it a lot like there's blame for these women. They're older, they're predators, they're preying on these young guys. But I think the league has a big responsibility to, you know, educate these boys to be like, right, because in South Africa, sometimes to get into the Springboks, there's like a cultural sort of element to it, where they kind of want you to be this well-grounded character. So you see a lot of those guys are married. A lot of them, you know, when they do the documentaries, they come from good families. I think the league, maybe the teams or the franchises, need to do better to just, I don't know, protect these boys from.
Yeah, but I think, look, I think the only way you can
but
kind of protect them, it's difficult, right? Because obviously,
because they're businesses themselves, right?
Exactly.
They're vulnerable
They're
businesses.
Also, technically, as a society, we've decided that they're adults, right? So by the time a lot of these players get into the league, Anthony Edwards is an adult right now. That is how, as a society, we've classed, you know, people over 18 years old or over 21 years old. You're an adult, and now imagine this small 0.5% of the world has a group of people that are young and dumb, and here's $300 million, right? Here's even you don't even have to go that high. Here's $10 million, right? Like you're making per game, per season, you're making at least $500,000 on the lowest end as a superstar young talent, right? And that makes that already. So like now having that type of money, I know for a fact that I would have been doing super shit as well when I was 21 if you gave me $1 million a month.
Yep.
Because I've got access to everything. There's nothing I can't do in this world. There's nowhere I can't go. There's no one that I can't get. And it's even worse because now I don't even have to try, right? Because the whole thing that as guys we kind of relate on is just that whole when you're in uni, you're broke, you're on the come up, and these hands ain't trying to fuck with you. That's really kind of a lot of people's stories initially, right? If you skip that phase, where and then all the hands are trying to fuck with all these mamas, like 38-year-old MILFs and with BBLs and whatever you're into. There's a
Everything
hand
you
who
grew up
looks like it.
And the funny thing is, it's everything you grew up watching on.
Exactly. All the porn stars are hitting you up, bro. Like it's a thing that me and you cannot relate to, but and that's why I have a lot of empathy for these guys. So I'm like, bruh, at your age, like, bro, we would all fallen for the same shit.
Who was that other one who got involved with the crazy porn star?
Oh, Zion.
Zion Williamson.
Yeah, exactly. Zion and Mariah Mills. That was also some wild shit. But it's that it's not a coincidence that these young stars with all this money, I don't know how you police it other than, restricting, which you can't do, right? You can't have them play at this level in the NBA and say you can only access your money when you're now 30 years old or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you can't. I don't know what controls can be put in place because I'm sure all the NBA teams do have these support structures to be like, hey man, you're about to come into a lot of money. This is how you do. But also the other thing that that you need to be aware of, right, is they pay these guys in uni as well, right? So they get these NIL deals, which are a fraction of what they'd make in the NBA, but it's still in the real world, in me and you terms, it's a shit ton of money. So already from the uni years, or they're probably just a year in uni, and then like, it's very early that you can tell a prodigy in any sport, right? So all these scouts, all these like Nike and all of that, like there's all these, they have all these practices where they'll come to like your parents and say, hey, like Nancy 1 million, or here's 100,000, like, you know what I mean? So like, you're already getting access to these monies one way or another, right? When you're growing up, but at least those times is more so your parents that are in charge and the front faces of your life, right? So I think there's less control, there's more controls, but the problem is that is from that age is when these kids should start being, advised on some, hey, chief, you can see the money that is coming, you can see the trajectory that you're on. Let's control the situation. Like let's educate you to understand the woman of your dreams. 10 of them are going to come for you, dog. You go to a club, you go to any function, you go to your homie's wedding, because some of these guys get married young and stuff like that, right? So a teammate, send us my teammate, he gets married. And, obviously it's a wedding of, 100 people or whatever. And then people see me, I'm a basketball superstar. Obviously, someone is going to shoot their shot. Like, you're just constantly going to be wanted. And you have to understand that. I'm like, yeah, have your fun. But, you are having fun. They're not. They're shifting. Like, so once you got the whole Kanye West thing, 18 years, bro. She got one of your kids, got you for 18 years.
18 years.
That's just what it is. That's what it is. And it's like, that's the society that we live in. So I don't know, man. I feel bad for these young guys because it's just, we laugh at them when these stories come out. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know how you fix that part of it.
They are businesses and the money involved as well, man. It's insane.
Yeah. Because the hand just knows, I just got to get pregnant. That's it. And I'm good. And then now you have a rapper's kid, now you have an NBA superstar's kid who knows? She could go around and mess around with somebody else, and then boom, like that's 3 rich niggas. I think there was a look, was it a video where she was talking about it. Uti, hey, these are the niggas that I have babies with, and bragging about it somewhat, right? So it's like you see that, and then now you're dealing with this. And again, I always just say, like, guys, if you're gonna hit raw, you're consenting to having a child. You can never be trapped as a dude, generally speaking, unless again some wild shit happens. You are dragged, or I don't know how crazy the game is at this point, right? But generally speaking, if someone comes to me on some, yo, Maps, I got so and so pregnant,
Yeah.
I can't have a lot of sympathy for that guy, because it's like, Chief, were you hitting raw? Yes, but I pulled out. But you're like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's, oh, she told me she was going to take the plan B. She promised. She said she's not trying to have kids. Da, 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 da. I'm like, bro, maybe that shit was true when you were having that conversation. But I've seen it in real life. People change their minds on, like, initially they're pregnant and they go, actually, I want to keep it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what a woman's body goes through, right? When they learn that they're pregnant, their bodies adjust. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole thing. And it's like, it's okay for them to change their minds. Be like, fuck it, I'm keeping it. So you can't begrudge them of that. But as a dude, you can prevent it. So if you're not willing to have that same person that you're smashing say, hey, bro, I'm pregnant, then you shouldn't be smashing, yet alone raw. That's the policy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why
That's why I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think it's not it's not up to the league to educate these boys. It's not up to
But
them
they're
to protect
educated,
them.
dog. They're educated. I think it's more so the older players. Like, not really the league. You have to have your veterans in the locker room who talk to these guys. Like, Chief, been there, done that. I've already gotten my millions. You know what I mean? Like, I've done it. I've teed the porn stars. I've done it all. I've done it all, right? Learn from my mistakes. This is where I messed up. This is the situation. Da 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 da. That is where I would put onus on the old heads, right? Like, that's what you're there for, right? Us, when we talk to guys who are younger than us, we're like, yo, Chief, bro, like, we did this thing, like, you know? And then it's up to you. I was like, all we can do is advice. All we can do is like, hey, bro, this is what I did and it worked. This is what I did and it didn't work. But it's up to that individual to listen at the end of the day. And if Anthony Edwards was, you know, with the old heads and he was like, fuck it, me, I'm still trying to pipe all of these hoes, like, then again, you report yourself. Because allegedly, there's other women that he's gotten pregnant before, right? So, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I as a whole, generally, I do feel bad for these young guys. Because it's like, you're being targeted. If you're getting your age mates pregnant, then, okay, all of you are dumb. You're not, you know, like lidal, you know, whatever it is. But, like, women that are significantly older than you targeting you because they know you're young, dumb, and rich, to me, I have a problem with that. And that's where I'm like, things need to change a little bit, you know? Gunzim.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, millionaire problems. It's not.
There are millionaire problems.
It's not for
to
us.
be
this thing.
honest.
It's not for us. Real quick, China. They are exposing manufacturers all around the world. That's been fun. Have you been keeping track of the videos of these Chinese manufacturers saying, it's the
Yeah,
fake
someone
things?
saying, yeah, it's made here
Yeah.
because they have, you know, the best. And it's not that it's fake, it's just where it's made.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Chinese manufacturers are just, they're the best that can manufacture product at scale. You know, no one else in the world has the number of people, the amount of technology, the low cost with which they do it at.
But
in
you know what?
China,
It's before we jump into that. This past week has made me realize one thing. I understand why Americans or certain Americans or the government in America wanted to ban TikTok. I understand it now. 110%. Because the Chinese propaganda that has popped up overnight. Bro, I didn't even know this was going on and it popped up on my feed on TikTok. All of a sudden, some random guy goes, you see this Hermes bag? it's made in China, and then we send it to Italy. We get these leathers from here, 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 and here. We stitch it so, and then it's sent to Italy. They, stitch on the label, and then they write "Made in Italy," and they sell it to you. It's here. The cost would be $600 or whatever he said, and then but this bag is worth $38,000.
Because I do always wonder with countries like Italy and France and a lot of these that are now apparently selling high luxury goods all around the world, right? At very, very high volumes. Where do they get the labor? Because I don't think labor in Europe to do that is cheap.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Remember, we talked about it last year. There was a story where I believe it's the company that owns Versace, one of these luxury labels.
Wasn't it, wasn't it Dior?
Dior, I think, maybe. One of them ones. We talked about a story where there was a sweatshop discovered on one of the shores of Italy where they were basically doing what happens in China on European soil, right? And there was a court case around that. So again, it's all this is to cheapen the production cost as much as possible. As I was having this conversation exactly with my wife last night, and I was like to her, I believe most of what is going on right now simply based on, I know these conglomerates are rich as fuck. Greedy as fuck. That they are chasing how can we increase the bottom line, which leads me to be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure a CEO would have sanctioned, like, yo, if we can make this thing in China and it's exactly the same as Italian hands and it's still hand stitched, then cool, ship them over. And then when they get to Italy, all we have to pay people for is less hours, and they're just doing stitching of made in Italy. Here's the label, maybe one thing here, one thing there, right? It cuts production costs, and we still make the same markup as if it was fully made in Italy. No one is any wiser on the thing, right? China's getting this money, Europe is getting this money, everybody's happy. Consumers are still overspending on useless goods. That is the image that I see from a corporate point of view, knowing how corporates think. But the way that China just turned on the algorithm in these tariffs, and all of a sudden all these Americans now know, and it went viral, bro. Different types of videos. I saw something for manufactured furniture, bathroom installations, where you get all your Adidas and Nike sneakers, all this stuff, bro. It's just all over the internet. And I'm like, damn, that's just because TikTok is such a huge application. So like technically, which again, the whole TikTok is in the Chinese app, but like all of a sudden, all this Chinese favoring content pops up on everybody's feed at the same time. I get it. I understand truly why the US is like, this is a big problem.
Because and I think Trump probably identified that for whatever purpose during this term of his messaging needs to be the most important thing. How he sends out things on social media, how people perceive these tariffs and whatever, right? Because I think it's important that if he says we're imposing these tariffs, for Americans to kind of understand that, oh, okay, this is why Trump is doing it, this is what he wants to do. The problem now is, and I then look at it and I go, if TikTok can just do that, where you're now seeing Chinese content, you can't voga tomorrow on your Truth platform and say, no, we'll make it ourselves here.
Yeah.
Because the Chinese will be like, oh, no, we're fine. Or we'll just bully China. Because I think initially he said, no, we'll just bully them. And they're like, no, we don't have to sell to you. We can sell off the stuff anywhere in the world at a fraction of the cost if you guys don't play ball with us.
Yeah. I think, honestly, let me see. Actually, let me share this actually and make life a little bit easier for anyone trying to play catch up. Let's see what
being shared widely on social media, and they're raising questions about where European designer goods are made.
They take almost finished bags from China factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing.
The videos feature people who say they work in manufacturing in China. They claim that expensive European designer items are actually made mostly in Chinese factories. But Louis Vuitton, for example, says its leather goods are exclusively produced in our workshops in Europe and the US. And Gucci says 95% of its manufacturers are based in Italy. So what's the truth?
It's not as easy as some of these videos make it. There is a lot of production going on in China, also for luxury brands. We do not often know exactly because the luxury sector has been very resistant towards opening up their supply chain. On the other hand, not entirely true that in Europe there is then only a label stuck on it.
According to EU rules, for something to be labelled made in Europe, it has to go through its last substantial transformation there. Experts say just adding a logo or packaging in France or Italy isn't enough for a made in Europe label, despite what some of the viral videos claim. But there's no clear guidelines on how much of a product needs to be made in Europe for that label to apply. So some production could happen in places like China, even for luxury goods.
The fashion supply chain is so fractured. You'll have, the knit of a sweater, the yarn will be milled in one place, dyed in another country, spun and knitted in a third country, then in pieces, and then sent to Italy or sent to France, and where it's stitched together, and therefore wherever the last stop was and the last bit was, they can put it was made in France.
Meanwhile, Lululemon told BBC Verify that about 3% of its final goods are made in China, but added it doesn't work with the manufacturers featured in the videos spreading online. While some Chinese companies claim to make products for big name brands, what they sell might look similar, but the quality often isn't the same.
So yeah, I mean, again, a lot of people have been working overtime to spin narratives on both sides, right? So obviously this tariff war isn't great for China. They export a whole ton of stuff all over the world.
To
And
the
obviously
US.
the US market is a huge buyer's market because people have the income, right? In droves compared to a lot of other countries. So I'm not surprised, which is why it's like, again, you take everything with a pinch of salt. You're not like China's telling the truth, but at the same time, I'm like, look, these companies want to make as much money as possible, so it wouldn't shock me. And like you said, with the other article that we talked about last year, they were caught for trying to do China tactics on European shores. So we know they're trying to squeeze out as much money and cut as many corners as possible on both sides. China doesn't want to take a step back on how much goods are being exported. And again, the luxury manufacturers, because, and like, it's not to me, it's not surprising that they will try and keep this as closed a loop as possible in terms of how does this manufacturing thing work, right? Because obviously, if we know, then certain things are going to be exposed. So somewhere in the middle is the truth, which is why, for me, the conversation I was having with my wife was like, how valuable are these luxury goods actually? Does it change anything for anyone to know that if, let's assume the China side is right, where it's 90% of this manufacturing was done here, and someone in Italy stitched on a label and a logo and maybe did one or two finishing touches, does that Hermes bag still justify 38,000? Or is it purely, hey, look, I know it sounds some bullshit, but I genuinely believe Hermes is worth $38,000, like the little H logo, whatever logo that they have. Maybe that's how people see it, right? So yeah, it's man, shout out to Trump, because wow, I never expected that this is how things would turn, and because obviously you can't predict how the other nations will respond. And
what did he think was going to happen?
I mean, I don't even know. It's a very good question. It's a very, very good question. Because
maybe he genuinely did think that America will just be fine and they'll just produce for themselves.
I don't know, bro. Like, that's why I say my theory is that he's pushing for better trade agreements across the board, globally for America. Because what the White House keeps, spitting out is that, hey, the US owes some trillions in debt. That's how much they owe in debt, and
to some of these countries,
it's through bonds and all this other stuff. Like, but at the end of the day, they're just trying to. The tariffs are supposed to combat the national debt. That's basically in the simplest way possible. That is what is going on. And Trump's solution is, look, if we make, I think the figure that I saw was like 750 billion through these tariffs, then that's addressing the national debt. But obviously, there's economists who say, no, that's not how you address national debt. Like, again, it's all this news from all different directions where it's just kind of like, I'm like, bro, okay, what is the truth? Right? Because I don't know. It's just a whole mess. But I think, yeah, Trump's strategy is we address national debt, and some people are saying that, you know, with the tariffs, if it wakes up, if it works out, they get the 750 billion. It's not just the national debt, but then now you cut taxes across the board on a federal level as well, which makes consumers happier. But to me, it's more of the same thing, because if you've made the goods or cost of living more expensive and you've cut my taxes, I'm still in the same place, right? I have more money to spend, but my bills went up as well, right? Salary increase, yay, but bills increase, no. You know what I mean?
Bills, yeah.
So I don't know, bro. So all this wahala to keep Americans in exactly the same place is a bit wild to me. That's why I'm saying I don't understand fully the strategy here, and the White House is not communicating coherent policy for me to go, oh, okay, cool, I see the vision. It just looks
messy.
So, yeah.
It looks very messy. And I don't know, when it comes to a lot of these other, I don't know, luxury goods, the people who make luxury goods, how good do you think something needs to be for it to be worth the amount of money that some of these things are? And I don't mean how expensive, just mean how good must something be for, how good must the handbag be for it to cost 30,000 rand?
Yeah. A lot of the time it's based on the question is, how much is Senna willing to pay for that handbag, right? That's how you gauge the market. So that's how a lot of people set their prices. It's not on the actual value, right? So you do the basic math. I bought these eggs for $2 from the farm. It's going to take my operational costs of, you know, cleaning the eggs, packaging them, blah, 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 all that stuff, right? This is where we are. And then on top of this, I need to make a margin. And on that margin, where do I place it, right? Where do I put the stick of how much is Senna willing to pay for these eggs that cost me $2 to procure from the farm? That's the equation that is done on all levels, cars, all that other shit. Is like there's a certain.
Then it's
level.
all about how I position myself in the market for it to.
Yeah, usually governments will set economic floors and ceilings, right? To say, look, you cannot charge people $20 per egg. That's not gonna happen. So the governments usually will set some forms of like structures to be like, this is generally what you should charge for these goods. But I think there's other industries where, look, like, for example, I'm a handbag, right? Those are not basic commodities. So I don't think there's price controls at a government level to say, hey, Gucci, you cannot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Then it's all about how much they're willing to dupe people.
100%. How much do you think Gucci is worth to you? And you know, that's how they use the influencers, the celebrities to push. So all these celebs, all these NBA players, football players, they get that merch for free. Because it's just like, hey, when you walk to the tunnel, you know, during the game to change into your uniform, wear this outfit. Because the cameras are going to see you, and then Senna's going to click and be like, ooh, that looks fresh. Let me go buy it, right? That's the whole... So it's all being pushed at you as like, oh, yeah, this is what people are wearing, and da-da-da-da. And then all the different TV shows. Like, if you watched... Do you watch Power, this one with Tariq and them? Power Book 2? Do you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed the outfits? Them shits were fire, bro.
Yeah. They were always
they were decked
clean.
out. It's and it's advertising. It's advertising in because you look at it like, damn, that's a dope hoodie, right? Gucci got a dope hoodie right there, and then you look it up. How much is this Gucci hoodie? And some people buy it based off of that. You know, so
I saw it on TV.
It's a commercial. We live in somewhat of a simulation, bro. When it comes to
it is a simulation. It's a manufactured world.
We're constantly being manipulated for one reason or another in the world for us to make economic, you know, buying decisions. That's just unfortunately how the world works. But shout out to China, man. I didn't expect this, but TikTok is a dangerous thing, bro. They issued those videos to everyone's feed, and like, again, the way people, we talked about the way rumors spread and all this other stuff, people just took it as gospel. I said, really, the bags are fake, and all the memes were flying. I even shared some of the memes and the reels and stuff like that of people saying, yeah, hey, these slay queens, their bags are worth $2, ha 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 ha. Like all these things of, I think Lokuzen posted something like the Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, Moet group, their stocks were down 40% or some shit like that. Like in a week. In a week, there was a huge drop, bro.
Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, Moet.
Yeah.
Are they part of the same group?
Chief. It's a conglomerate, bab. Moet, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. That's the...
So everything is a simulation. Then they give you a uniform and then make you pay thousands of dollars for it.
Over the last 4 days, the stock has dropped 43.8%. Zen, where have you gone?
No, I'm here. I'm listening. I thought there was something after the stock drop.
No.
That's it.
Yeah. 5 days, 43, minus 43%, bro.
And that's the challenge.
8%. My bad, people. My bad. I apologize. 8.2%. 8.2% has been the drop. Because I was like, even 40% in a week is insane to actually, But yeah, minus 8.2% over the last week. Over the last month, minus 20% drop. So it's already been spiraling. But the sharpest drop. Let me share my screen so that you are with me in class today, Mr. Moy. Right. As you can see, this diagram here, we started at 600 euros a month ago. The stock was around 609 euros. This was on the 17th of March. And then when the news broke, look at how low.
I feel like I'm in economics class.
No, actually, this is what? 15th is today. 2 days ago. Okay. Yeah. So this is about a week or so. So it touched under 500 euros, right? So it rallied a little bit because obviously BBC said, no, guys, it's not like that. It's not the truth. And then, more videos came out and it dropped again, and you know what I mean? So like, it's so funny, this whole valuation shit, bro. Like even when the whole tariffs news came out and like, oh, Trump has demolished $1 trillion in the market. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, these are just values that we've almost arbitrarily put on companies and said, this is what you are worth. It's not like this is the bank balance of these companies.
Yeah.
It's just,
and we're just saying,
we value these companies at this, and then all of a sudden that money is gone. It's not worth that. And hey, bro, listen, like some of the way the world economics are set up, it's just funny, man. It's just so funny.
We are living in a simulation, as you say.
No, for real, dog, for real. Oh, let me see Christian Dior. Christian Dior. Yeah, it's for them as well.
They're in trouble. I think because they were the ones when the initial rumor started, when we spoke about it.
Exactly. So they've been up and down.
They were the first ones.
Over the last week, minus 8%, minus 20% as well over the last month. If you say over the last year, minus 40%. Jesus is Lord. Bro, their stock was at 752 euros, currently selling at 445 euros per share. Hectic.
Steep.
It's peak, bro. It's peak. But anyway, that's it for today's segment on tariffs, Trump, and stocks. I haven't been given the signal yet, Mr. Moy, so we are working on borrowed time. You put this on your notes. Oops. You put this on your notes last week, and we didn't get to it, unfortunately. But I thought it was an important thing to just kind of bring up. The series Adolescence. What did you think?
Dude, it was good. The production, the story itself is terrible.
It's whack.
Because
when you say terrible, what do you mean?
As in what is actually portrayed? If these are the things that are happening in the UK.
Oh, okay. So you mean it's sad, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's meant to be sort of like a real life feel.
Yeah.
Of what's currently happening in high schools across the UK and all this toxic masculinity and red pill culture and about Andrew Tate, Nani, all of that stuff. So I thought the production was good. I thought the acting was good.
let me quickly give the
the
people the
story.
context, and then you can go on. So Adolescence is just a series where, again, long story short, it's based on a British family, I think in like Liverpool or some shit, and it turns out that they have two kids, right, son and a daughter. The son is the younger of the two, and he is arrested. This is all episode 1. He is arrested on suspicions of murder. I mean, to be honest, I might as well spoil it because that's not really the point of the show. Son is arrested on suspicion of murder, and they have him on video. It's revealed. All this in episode 1 is revealed that, the kid murdered the girl.
Spoiler alert.
A girl from his school. So again, this is all. It's not the point of it, right? Like, which initially, when I saw the trailer, because you put it out in the group, right? You or Talk, or one of the two, said, yo, this series is lit, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, let me check it out. And of which I'm kind of pissed at you because it's not what I thought it was going to be. So I see the trailer I'm not pissed at you, I guess. I'm more pissed at Netflix. So I see the trailer and I'm like, oh shit, this is one of them suspense. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is going to be, the Jackal, Day of the Jackal.
Oh, murder mystery type of thing.
So I'm like, yo, let's go. Right. And then, episode 1 is that. It's like, oh, yo, did he do it? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm suspecting the most random people, or maybe it was the dad or the mom. You know what I mean? Like, the sister hasn't said anything the whole episode. Like, that's where my mind was going. And that's not where the series was. It's, again, worst case is like it's a 4-episode run, I think. So it's not like it's a huge waste of time. But it's not what it comes off to be in episode 1. And I was disappointed. Not necessarily because of that, but I was disappointed because I thought they could have done more with different things that they set up, right? So the detective's relationship with his son, there was a lot of meat on that bone that I thought was going to be explored. The school itself and the teachers, that alone, you know what I mean? That alone was crazy. What was going on? And then the one of the close friends or the best friend, that black girl who lost her shit, again, a lot of meat on the bone, and she said something very, very key in terms of the relationship with, was it her mom or adopted mom? I can't remember what it was, but like, just not feeling safe at home or being able to express themselves, or like, if you call my mom to the school, whatever, like, they set up so much, like, super, what's the word I'm looking for?
I guess interesting?
No, not less interesting.
Thought-provoking?
Yeah, there were a lot of channels that were real. You know what I mean? Where they set things up, and I was a bit, because obviously we watch a lot of series. I had those expectations of, we are going to close the loops on all of these things, right? By the end of the show. But then I'm like, bro, I'm on like episode 3 and we have not seen the detective at all. We haven't seen this, and I was like, okay, cool. So I was let down from that point of view, because I was just like, okay, cool, I kind of get it, what you're talking about. But going back to what you said, the actual theme of it, I did think was very, very interesting. And it goes back to the theme of what we've been talking about, trying to educate young guys when we're talking about the Anthony Edwards thing, right? Like, it starts from school, primary school. High school's even worse. Like, me and you got to CBC, like, there was so much misinformation where we thought we were the only people that were virgins in school, right? A lot of guys' experiences that we thought everybody was having sex. This is how you finger a girl, like all this other stuff that was just being discussed by niggas who knew nothing, bro. Species manga, right? And then you go home and you're like, damn, like, how do I get to that point of a girl, wanting to give me a handy or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, that shit used to stress niggas when in high school, and you're thinking you're the only one. You're the only one that is not going through that at the end of it, or you're the only one who's not gotten to that place with the girl, and then now you have a sort of a sense of desperation, right? Because you're like, oh man, I really gotta like lose my V card or whatever, or I really gotta, you know what I mean? Like, it's all of that starts to happen. So I liked
and
that
when they
aspect
explored
of it.
just to add on what you said, when they explored the 80-20 thing, which I found was fascinating. I didn't even know that it was like a rule that's like out there. That, what do they think? They think that 80% of the women are attracted to 20% of the guys. And then because of that, the other 80% of the guys then get into this weird space, I think, where it's like, value yourself, king. These queens or whatever. Like, it just becomes, all these other, I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call it. Red pill culture.
It's very I think, to me, what I got from it is just kind of what I've known myself, which is like, I look at my own relationship with my dad, and I've gotten on the, I'm saying, I'm looking at it made me reflect on my relationship with my dad, right? And also the type of dad that I want to be, right? And I think I've always come onto the podcast a couple of times and I've said my relationship with my dad was very professional. He had a job to do, right, as a father, and he executed that job to the highest degree. Best schools, best unis, clothes, like access, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted for nothing, effectively, as a kid. Maybe cereal, right? But like, but other than that, like, look, my dad
choice of sorted.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look, a little couple more boxes of biscuits in the Zoe. But other than, like, look, it was, I can never ever, and I'll never ever look at my dad and be like, chief, there, you weren't a good dad, right? This man he was the man, right? But at the same time, I'm almost like, I call the relationship professional because we didn't really build the personal side of things. So, like, I wasn't shocked when the reveal comes with the kid really did kill that girl, and the lawyer goes, remember in the scene, the lawyer goes, hey, let's take a break, because he clocks, right? The solicitor, he clocks. He's like, hey guys, let's take a break from this questioning here. And the dad goes, no, it's fine.
No.
I know my boy. Right, I know my boy. He's okay.
Like, hey, answer the questions.
Answer the questions.
He didn't do this shit.
At that point, I was like, because it's done, right? And then they have that moment where they both start crying over you. That shit, like, I actually was sad for a day or two, bro. That shit, I was like, that's why I was annoyed at you. I'm like, bro, don't ever direct me a shit like this again. I don't like watching that type of stuff, man. But like, it was hard, and like it really made me reflect, and I was just kind of like, okay, yeah.
I never actually didn't think it would be triggering for you as a boy dad. Maybe I should have stopped to think of that.
No, I think, look, I think it was great to sort of reaffirm some of the thoughts that I had in terms of how I plan to be, a dad as my son grows up and stuff like that, right? Where I don't ever want to, personally, my personal point of failure is if I was in the same situation and I go, my boy would never do this, and it turns out he did do it, right? That, to me, I think, I'm judging myself and no one else, right? I think I would have failed as the dad that I want to be, because I want to be able to create an environment where my son, my kids can come to me and say, yo, this is the situation, this is how I feel. Because it led up to, like, he lashed out at that girl, right? And that's how he ended up killing her. Because she was bullying him, calling him an incel, all this. Like, if you have I think, and this is my belief, I could be wrong, right? All the parents, feel free to DM us or whatever and be like, chief, there's no such thing. But I think you can have the type of relationship with your child where they do share, right, this information and be like, hey, bro, like, I'm being bullied, or this is what I'm seeing on social media, and all this other stuff. Like, I have one of my friends. She's in her late 30s, and she was telling me about, like, the controls that she puts on her daughter's phone. At 8, all the apps shut down, all this other stuff, right? And it's like, great, you need to put in those type of controls, but at the same time, you don't want to make sure that you kick up your feet and you're like, right, job done. I've limited everything. Because one, your kid's going to have friends and their parents are not you. you don't know what they limit or don't limit at the end of the day. So you could be like, yeah, no, Vele, phone shuts down. I see access to all the text and all that stuff that she's doing. Meanwhile, she's doing all the stuff, or he's doing all the stuff on his friend's phone, which you have no access to and no controls over, right? Like, I want to create an environment where my kids think, yo, let me discuss this with the body, because he's not going to be on some, hey, Nzali Chaya type shit. It's going to be like, okay, what's actually going on? That's my goal, to be in that zone, because this is how you sort of counsel your kid and help them avoid a lot of things that I avoided in life. The other route that my parents took was the fear route. So I avoided a whole lot of shit.
Instill the fear of God into you.
Exactly. So me, I avoided
the things
a lot of things
I knew about
because I was like,
Johannesburg before I went to school. Honestly, I used to think, to be this before, and I really need to Uber to go pick up my car. So what used to happen is, because you have a conversation with like all the people in your family when you move to Joburg.
Yeah.
I was convinced that if you breathed in Johannesburg, you would have HIV, because of how they scared the life of, no, this is what happens. This is what happens.
Yeah.
Ekoli, ekoli, hey, ekoli, ekoli, hey, ekoli, ekoli, hey, ekoli, hey, ekoli.
But that's true. That's facts. It be like that. But also,
like
the thing
that,
is, other guys of our year heard that from their families, from their parents, their moms and their dads, and they go, okay, I'm going to investigate this myself. Right? So you kind of leave it up to chance. Your kid could go the center out and be like, hey, yeah, no, I can't. Others could go, let me go check. You know, like, reactions are always different. But then if you try to create an environment where it's like, look, I've seen like one of our mutuals, looks to have a really close relationship with her kid where they're like chums. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's great. I like that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, cool. I would assume, should anything happen in that kid's life, she's brave enough to go to her mom and say, hey, mom, actually, so-and-so is wilding, or so-and-so is bullying me, or this and that. And like, they feel free to be able to say some of these things, and like, and not deal. The worst thing that you can do is try to deal with it alone as a kid, because you're almost always going to find the wrong answer. And if there's no one else other than your silly friends advising you, you're gonna do dumb shit. You're going to do dumb shit. And that's the thing. Like, so, and I don't want to lead through fear, right? Because again, what if something horrible happens and it's like, yeah, I was scared that you were going to beat me. I'd never forgive myself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
nah, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah.
And
no, I get it.
It's a difficult one. But anyway, yeah, don't be sending me sad series like that again, man. Like, what the fuck? Don't do that.
Yeah. No, I've learned.
So are you out of time?
Yeah, no, I'm out of time. I want to get there in time.
First generation with no land. Who's the first generation with no land, bro?
Us, nigga. I saw a video.
I've got land, bro. I don't know what you're talking.
I saw a video. I saw a video of people having a traditional wedding in a complex.
Hectic.
I was like, next will be slaughtering in these complexes.
I think I've seen that actually. Maybe it was a wedding or something like that.
I think it was a wedding that was happening in one of these Bowen estates in Joburg.
Yeah.
I was like, But anyways, yes, we can pick that up in future. No worries.
No, Senna, let's go into it now.
Hi. I need to go.
I'm kidding. Guys,
do you know that if I don't get my car today, the rental company is going to charge me personally an extra day the Ndebele in me cannot fathom.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
I'm glitching right now.
No, don't worry. The listeners are sending money. Don't worry. Guys, we are on a new platform, so please share the pod, share the links to it. We'll try to update the link tree as well on Twitter. So we should be back up on all platforms where you were listening. I think we'll put this episode on YouTube as well, just in case, but we're on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pocket Casts, all the casts out there. The podcast is being distributed. We learned some interesting shit. We were just looking at the Spotify numbers this whole time. I know we had been doing a count of like 120,000 streams. Turns out with Apple, the gents, the Cheese Boys are over 300,000 streams. So shout out to you guys for being there from day one. We knew the podcast was doing the things, but we didn't know to what extent. So a special thank you to each and every one of you. And we're asking you to, again, share the thing, like the thing, retweet the thing. And if you don't, we're inclined to believe you're a hater. Mr. Moy?
Laters.